So 100 this year, 126 events later. So the car has continued to evolve it over the years. It is not pretty necessarily. It is not. There's not a part on it for looking nice. Well, okay, there's a couple, but most of it is just, you know, it's purpose built. So the rule for me was always only do something to the car if there's an issue, if I want to improve, if it's limiting me in some way. Right now I've got Fortunato 510s, which I absolutely love. Went through Coney's, went through Tien's, which Tienz's are phenomenal for under $1,000 bucks. So love those, but got to the limits of what those could do, and then basically had these custom built what I wanted. So suspension was the big one. Brakes was the other one. Took years of brake fires, of shimming so bad that you couldn't actually turn a corner, all kinds of problems. So finally got, you know, the right brake set, right brake pads, rear, you know, Swaybar, all the rest of the suspension bushings, everything else changed. Exhaust, header, and then up pipe, down pipe, cat back, so the whole exhaust system. So this year I put, you know, bigger tires on. That was the only mod, but so I went from 245s to 265s. At Watkins Glen with the bank, it can do about 1.3 G. You know, going to slicks is the next step, and just the cost is not worth the difference. A little sliding and a little less grip, I'm perfectly fine with. So, but otherwise, I'm just working on driving skills. So, as I was planning this year, but hopefully next year I'll do more right seat time. Because one of the best things for autocross, one of the best ways for me to learn was teach other people.
So while it's stripped out, he's got seat cushions and stuff like that. That way the seat belt's in the right spot. But oh man, is there some road noise behind me. He said in the rain, you like pretty much can't hear yourself think because there's no, like, there's nothing behind you, right? So all the rocks and whatnot are kicking up. You can hear it now maybe. But the suspension so far doesn't feel harsh. The shifter's really nice. It's like it's super extended, so it's up right by the steering wheel, so there's not a lot of travel. The seat is very comfortable. It's fitted well for him, and I'm bigger than he is. Oh, I just stalled it. Awkward. What's funny is from where I'm looking forward, besides the radio delete, it feels very much like just a factory Subaru. And then, you know, I turn around and there's a stripped rear, there's a half cage, you're sitting in racing seats, there's harnesses, got a full spare race wheel in the back there. He's got some stickers here on the door, piece of painter's tape. It says nuts, pressure, pads, tire, and oil. And he said that's his checklist before he goes out, make sure he's done all 5 of those things. Oh yeah. So that was 5,500 RPM and no surprises, you know, super linear. Power delivery is awesome. It's not annoyingly loud like, you know, Subaru Pro vape loudest exhaust possible, and like I want to talk with the K-swap, but it's not that. It's really, really mellow. Sounds good when you get on it, but cruising, like I'm going 65 now. I could have a full-blown conversation with the person next to me without even trying. This is by no means set up to be a dual-duty car. He's got, he has a daily that he drives, you know, that's still fun. It's a Golf R. And then this thing is set up to drive to the track, drive on track, drive home. You know, not a leisurely weekend car. He's definitely taken the correct approach where you learn the car, learn your limits, become the best driver of that state of the car that you can, and then develop the car and continuously do that back and forth. Not, you know, throwing tons of parts. Sorry. Throwing tons of parts at the car and then, you know, taking it out for your first track session and wondering why you're not really fast. But look at that. Idle is quiet. You know, it's got some turbo lag, but it's not a turbo lag and spike. It's you can hear the turbo spool up, which is awesome, and then the power just gradually builds and delivers. We were talking in the supercharger versus turbo episode that supercharger is great for track because there's no surprises, there's no power spike. This has no power spike. This has reliable power delivery. You just got to give it a second. That's awesome, and I can understand how this does well on track, and I can understand why he doesn't want more power. He's done some mods that give you a little more power. It's got a tune. He's got an access port right behind this camera here, but more power, then you need, you know, even bigger brakes. You need bigger tires. You need slicks, and you start to snowball really into something that is a chore to own. And like he said, he didn't do anything but put new tires on it this winter. I don't have a track car, and I haven't had a car, like a fun car, that I haven't had to take apart every winter. This is perfect.
We are finally in a Subaru! Ah! Love it! So, little known fact, Subaru WRX STI Blob-Eye was my favorite car growing up as a kid. So it's not obviously the same year, but I'm definitely meeting a hero of mine right now. Dude, I gotta get this brake game on. These cars and their brakes, man. Ooh. I mean, oh, whoa, hey now, that is custom tune, pretty much full bolt-ons. Who knows what stage this is? I don't even understand that. Probably somewhere around 340. Greg is estimating it to be. All business up front, plenty of room out back to throw in anything you need for the track. Greg drives this car to and from all his events, multiple hours, and I can see all that room. I love hatchbacks. I never really considered one for this kind of track work, but it makes sense. Why have a trailer when you can have a hatchback? 265 tires. This thing is just on another level of grip. I've never experienced this. The way these cars and the turbos just surge, I love that sensation. I think that's a lot of the fun. I know everyone talks about the boost lag and that push you get. That is fun, but it's just the urgency that the engine has coming onto that turbo. It's just, yeah, like, it's just that spool up, that acceleration that I think is really where a lot of the fun of these turbos stem from. Third gear, 4,000 RPM, foot down. Yeah. Yep. Ooh. Green light, here we go. Turn in. this car is way more capable than I am as a driver. I feel like I'm definitely doing the doggy paddle in the deep end right now. This is not the first thing that I think of when I think of a platform to build a track rat. You know, it's just not the first thing that comes to mind, but Greg has done an awesome job putting something together that for him has been really reliable. And I mean, the internet would tell you otherwise in terms of the reliability of a Subaru. Oh, I want to do bad things in this car. Bad things in this car. Yeah, bad things. I want to do bad things in this car. I wouldn't expect anything less than this level of quality from someone like Greg. You know, he has so many hours of track experience. Of course, he's going to put together an awesome car for that use. So good. That is a wrap. We are back from our little drives around the block, and Stefan, what do you think overall?
Again, big brakes are awesome. And
Yeah.
modulatable big brakes are even better. But the car doesn't need more power. It doesn't need really anything. I can see how that car out on track is comfortable, can be driven to your limits and driven home type of car. I mean,
Yeah.
super well set up.
Yeah. Hatchbacks are king. You can just fit so much
Definitely
in
agree.
them. It's awesome. So, yeah, great. Thanks a lot for having us.
I'm glad.
Car is awesome. Yeah, and hopefully we can get some more Subarus. This is a great first experience for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like, the WRX was like my favorite car growing up, that blob eye. So it's great to get some experience behind the wheel of a Subaru.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. If you like the review, just give us a little thumbs up down below. Comment, subscribe, stay tuned. More reviews like this coming out in the future.
Oh, is it?
Done.
You can tell it's on race pads, though.
Listen to the sound of my people. Woo!